The journey does not begin with a dry definition, bushmeat, the meat of wild animals in Africa hunted or trapped deep in the forest to serve human consumption. But the story here is not just in the words, but in the vivid stories behind them. The morning heat, the scent of the forest, and the sound of footsteps on damp soil seem to open another world. Hidden behind this food are potential impacts, declining animal populations, the risk of disease outbreaks. And a natural question arises during the journey of discovery: are there any species banned by the government from being hunted or eaten? This is not to judge, but to record, to explore, to understand the whole story of the people living alongside bushmeat. Is it possible to step into that world without being swept away by both curiosity and unease? Olduwo Market stands as a witness of history, having gone through centuries of change, opening from dawn until nightfall. Entering the market, the space is not gloomy as often portrayed in reports. Instead, it feels like a vibrant festival where smiles are always present on both sellers' and buyers' faces. The sound of vendors calling out echoes, mingling with laughter, footsteps, and the bustling noise of a crowded market. The scents of the sea spices and grilled meat fill the air. Stalls display glistening snails, fresh seafood, and rare wild animals, creating a scene both strange and captivating. Could you imagine that a market could be both a place of trade and a stage for a cultural story full of colors like this? And amid all these sounds and aromas, walking through Olduwo Market becomes an unforgettable journey. Amid the colorful alleys of Olduwo Market, the silhouette of a woman in faded fabric appears, leading to a small but strange stall. She whispers as if sharing a secret. This market has everything, truly everything. Her eyes sparkle, and the displayed dishes make passers-by stop, unable to resist their curiosity. On the tray lie 2 types of seasoned larvae glistening under the light, freshly boiled and grilled. The spicy aroma spreads, making the stall's surroundings more vibrant. It feels like standing before a challenge of the taste buds. The woman invites to taste, and when trying, the flavor melts in the mouth, the skin chewy like leather infused with spicy seasoning. One softer, one tougher. Each opens a separate chapter in this culinary story. Could you imagine that a dish could be both a challenge and a cultural experience? The woman smiles, saying that is exactly the fun of this cuisine, where every bite carries a story. Going deeper into the heart of Olduwo Market. The smell of burning meat fills the air, blending with the scent of strong spices. Scorched animal hair scatters, clinging to clothes and hair, a sensory experience. For outsiders, the scene can be shocking, but for those used to this place, it is just part of daily life. The cries of vendors mix with the sound of cutting meat, the crackle of fire. Vendors, merchants, cooks bustle to prepare for a colorful market day field. Rats, smoked snakes, monitor lizards, and many other species rarely seen elsewhere. The silhouette of an elderly man, slightly hunched with a weathered face but eyes full of experience, approaches. He has been tied to the market for over 25 years, recounting the story of rare meats, fatty, sticky field rats with a special flavor, smoked snakes with a hint of the sea, monitor lizards carefully prepared piece by piece. His voice guides listeners through each flavor, each hidden story behind the dishes, creating a living memory of this exploration. Could you imagine that a piece of meat could tell the story of culture of the people here? The answer seems to be found right in the heart of Olduwo Market. The silhouette of a woman in faded fabric stands in the market, her voice like a whisper, explaining that exotic meat has no fixed definition. Simply meat different from industrially farmed chicken, pork, sheep, or beef. It sounds simple, but reality is far more complex. Walking through the market alleys, field rat, smoke, snake, monitor, lizard, antelope, wildcat, jackal, crocodile dishes, both familiar and strange, form a unique culinary picture in Nigeria. They are not just food, but a part of culture preserved through generations. The silhouette of a longtime vendor steps forward, his eyes sparkling as he explains why bushmeat is chosen for its special taste, its rarity, its tie to tradition. He emphasizes that in some communities, bushmeat is indispensable in religious rituals as an offering to the gods. The bushmeat market under Olduwo's light is not just a place of food exchange. It is a place where every piece of meat carries a story, memory, and culture. Could you imagine that a dish could hold the history of a land? That question still lingers as one leaves this place. The auction area becomes the center of the exploration, a gathering of the rarest bushmeat ever seen. Voices of bidding rise quickly, mingling with smoke and spicy aromas from the nearby stalls. On the table, venison antelope, wild cat jackal. Crocodile, even live animals are displayed like treasures. The vendor explains that bushmeat is often more expensive than common meats because it is both a delicacy and rare. Buyers' eyes shine when speaking of its value. The silhouette of a woman nearby with a deep voice asks, "Why still choose bushmeat even though it's expensive?" That question not only sparks a discussion about culinary value, but also opens a story about culture, tradition, and differences. Is bushmeat merely food or something more? The silhouette of an elderly man, slightly hunched, his eyes stern amid the noisy market, slowly shares that there are almost no limits to bushmeat hunting. His words echo among the bustle like a separate sound of Olduwo Market. Hunting takes place daily, becoming a part of the long tradition here. A seemingly common concept, endangered species, almost does not exist in their perception. That truth stirs both curiosity and concern. Can a culture endure if it ignores ecological protection laws? Amid the cries of vendors and the smell of grilled meat, that question lingers like a reminder that every tradition carries its own story. Amid laughter and the fragrant scent of palm oil, the silhouette of a cheerful man invites us into his home where a special meal awaits. The main dish today is monitor lizard, cooked in a traditional Nigerian recipe, palm oil, onion, chili, tomato, blended into a spicy, fragrant sauce. The lizard meat is boiled thoroughly soft, like it melts in the mouth, then served alongside eba, a staple dish made from dried cassava, warm and hearty. The first impression when tasting is a bit of surprise, the spice lingering like an invitation into the cultural culinary story here. Amid the whispers of the house and the clinking of knives, the man shares how to trap lizards, the hunting skills passed down for generations, and where to find them. A gentle question arises in the mind: is each bite here not only food, but also part of memory and tradition? Amid the vendors' calls and the smoke of Olduwo Market, the silhouette of an experienced seller seriously shares some species of bushmeat carry the potential of disease. His words ring out in the colorful culinary air, making ears listen more closely. Locals believe that cooking temperature and distinctive spices not only create flavor, but also kill bacteria. A feeling of both curiosity and worry lingers while listening. Nearby, the silhouette of a woman shakes her head, her voice deep like a story passed down. No one eats raw meat in Nigeria, except in a few other regions like Kenya, where goat kidney and fresh blood are used in rituals. A rhetorical question creeps into the mind: are culinary differences merely flavors, or do they also carry stories of culture, beliefs, and risks? Amid the bustling sounds of Olduwo Market, the silhouette of an experienced vendor pauses, his eyes shining as he shares bushmeat has existed for generations, becoming inseparable from culture. His voice carries no judgment, but a reminder not to say right or wrong, but to understand why bushmeat persists. Hearing that, a feeling of both curiosity and understanding arises like standing before a secret kept through time. The story becomes a reminder: this trade will continue until its economic benefits vanish and until community awareness changes. And a rhetorical question rings in the mind: do changes in eating habits arise from need or from deeper cultural awareness and human values? As the sunset dyes Olduo Market golden, the silhouette of the woman in faded fabric appears one last time, her smile holding countless stories. The journey of exploring bushmeat in Nigeria closes, but its echoes still resonate in every step. Gratitude is given to her not only for accompanying us, but for opening a door into a world few dare to explore. A message rings out like a reminder. The co-host is higher. For the first time, it's scary. The young will grow. The final question remains in the mind: can each trip, each story become a lesson, an experience that changes how we see the world? And can this journey inspire someone to step out of their comfort zone seeking answers for themselves?